Hey guys, it's Miss Johnson. Here is the video explaining from everything to everything, the assignment for Unit 2. So this is basically just going to be a step-by-step guide to go from a situation to either an equation, table, or graph, to go from an equation to a table, graph, or situation, a table to an equation, graph, or situation, or a graph to an equation, table, or situation, right? This is the holy grail. This is the step-by-step process for each of these. And this is important for your work today, but this is also the foundational work for your portfolio for Unit 2, right? So this is going to be a useful video reference when you're making your portfolio. Okay, let's do it. I highly recommend that I'm going to go through section by section. So I'm going to say we start with a table, we go to everything. Pause this video at the end of this section and then do the actual section on the assignment, tables to everything, right? So I'm going to go over section 1. I'm going to say pause your video, and then you're going to pause your video, do that work, come back to the video, resume. Then I will do part 2, pause, you'll do part 2. Part 3, this is supposed to be part 3, I'm pretty sure. Nope, it's like part 3, you'll pause, do part 3, and then part 4, you'll pause, do part 4. All right, let us get to it. So first, we're going to do tables to everything, right? So we have a table. Nice. And we are going to make an equation from it, and we're going to make a situation from it, and we are going to make a graph from it. And again, like I said in class today, we are obsessed with two things. We are obsessed with the rate and with the starting point, right? And that doesn't matter what form we have. It doesn't matter if it's an equation, a graph, a table, or a situation. These two things are going to come up in all 4 representations, and we want to know how to find them from anything. Okay, so from a table, the starting point is always when x equals 0. So here, our starting point, I'm going to make this, what color do I want to make this? I'm kind of running out of options. I'll make it pink. So we're going to go with edit colors, custom color, like a good bright pink. Okay, our starting point is 9. And that's again, sorry, I went on a color tangent, but that's again because on our table, x equals 0, y equals 9. That means 9 is our starting point. What is our rate? From that, we say we find the difference in one hop. So we started at 0.9, we went to 114. We went up 1 on the x's and up 5 on the y's. So our rate is the y, the change in y, divided by the change in x, which here just means it's 5. Perfect. Okay, I think we should do equations next, where we know that the rate is always m, the start is always b, and we're looking for y equals mx plus b. So here it is 5x plus 9. We're just grabbing this number from the rate and grabbing this number from the start. All right, once we make our situation, we're going to define our variables here, but we're going to wait on that until we actually know what our x and y are representing. Okay, for our graph, we started at 9, so over 0, up 9. From 1, we have 14. And then we kind of quickly run out of the graph, to be honest. I'm going to go over -1 and put a 4. Over -2 and get a -1. So I've graphed these 4 points from the tables just by making this your x and y coordinates, making this your x and y coordinates. And again, I'll show you that whenever we have the x and y on the table, we can just use them as coordinates and plot those points on the graph. If that is a confusing process, come to office hours. I'm happy to explain this in any number of ways, and we'll get you all squared away. And then we draw a line that goes through all of them. We make this line actually straight, and we have graphed it. Amazing. Now we want to make up a scenario for this. We want to say it's something that starts with 9 and something that increases by 5 for every 1 step forward we move in this process. So I'm going to say I'm going to let my x be, oh, I don't know. I'm not very creative. My x is like hours awake, and my y is going to be texts I've received. So a nice scenario is I woke up to 9 text messages. It's like I woke up and my phone already had 9 missed text messages, and then every 1 hour I get 5 texts. Perfect scenario, good equation, good graph. So again, that's if we're given a table and we move into graphs, equations, and scenarios. Okay, this is where I want to pause your video, pause this, go work on the 3 problems on the assignment, and then come back. All right, welcome back. It's been 0 seconds for me, but hopefully it's been a couple minutes for y'all. Okay, for this one, we have a graph. And we want to move that into a table, into an equation, and into a scenario. My points, I put them over here so I wouldn't forget to write them. My points on this graph are 8, 0, or 0, 8, 5, 5, and 10, 2. Right? And the way we read that is this point we went left and right 0, up 8. This point we went over 5 and then up 5. And this point we went over 10 and up 2. Great. To move to the table, I'll do the table first. We're just going to write these points, right? We're just going to write 0, 8. We're going to write 5 matches with 5. We're going to write 10 matches with 2. Let's find the rate and the starting point here and compare it to the rate and the starting point here. Here, the starting point is where it hits the y-axis, where x is 0. So our starting point is 8. Start is 8. And our rate is, when we move from here to here, we went down 3 and to the right 5. So our rate is -3 divided by 5. All right. So if we wanted to make another point on this table, we would go up by 5 because that's how much the x changed by. We would go down by 3 because that's how much the y changed by. And we could do this as many times as we wanted. Generally, tables should have at least 5 points so we can kind of get the pattern and see where it's going. But again, that's where it is. For the equation, we have our rate times x plus our start, because we have our rate times x plus our start, where m is our rate and b is our start. So that's our equation. Again, we're going to define our variables once we make a scenario. And then our scenario. We started with 8 of something, and then every 5 x's, we lose 3 y's. I keep thinking about candy and Halloween. What's something you lose over time? We can just make it money, right? We can say x is days and y is, we'll say x is hours and y is dollars. And then we'll say I walked, let's say minutes and dollars, because I'm thinking I walked into a candy store, because I'm still on candy, with $8. Right? I go into the store, I've got $8. That's my starting point. And then every, 5 minutes? I spend $3. So yeah, basically, once I've spent 5 minutes in this candy store, I've now spent $3, so I only have $5. And when I spend 5 more minutes, I lose $3 more. And then negative money is when you're like borrowing money from people to pay for your candy habit. Okay, and so we started with the graph. We made it from a graph into a table. We made it from a graph into an equation. We made it from a graph into a scenario. And the big thing here is that we saw our graph, we noticed our rate, and we noticed our start point. We put that off to the side. And then this is what we're actually referencing when we made our table, when we made our equation, when we made our scenario, right? So we basically go from graph to start and rate, and then we go from start and rate to everything else. All right, pause here, do the graph one. Remembering that the rate is rise over run, so it's the amount you go up and down divided by the amount you go left and right. And then our starting point is always when it hits the x-axis or y-axis, 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 y-axis. All right, unpause. We are now going to do situations to everything. Classic word problems. Okay, Miss Johnson loves Halloween. It's true. It's true, and I should say it. She currently owns 2 ghost decorations for her home, and she buys another 6 ghost decorations every 2 days. This is not totally accurate, but it's not, outside of the realm of possibilities. Okay, my start point is currently, that's my start. I own 2 ghost decorations, and I buy 6 ghosts every 2 days, which means I buy 3 ghosts every day. I've got to have it. So again, just like we did for the graphs and just like we did for the table, we're really going to go situations to this knowledge and then this knowledge to the other 3 things. This is the key for all of these, is finding the start and finding the rate. All right, let's do the table. We've got days and ghosts. This could also be X and Y if you wanted. On day 0, I've got 2 ghosts. All right. In 2 days, I've got 6 ghosts, and that's straight from the scenario. I said she buys another 6 ghosts. Ooh, lies. 8 ghosts, right? Because I bought 6 ghosts. I added 6 to 2 because 2 days had passed. If I wanted to know what just happened on one day, I would just add half the number of ghosts. I only add 3. So it would become 5, right? 2 days, I add 6. But on one day, I just add 3. And then I could keep going. I could add 6 to here. I could add 3 to these and go on forever. All right, from the situation to the equation, our rate is 3. Our start point is 2. I think this one's the fastest one to read off. Once we know the start, that's our B. And once we know the rate, that's our M. Here, our X's would be days, and our Y would be ghosts. All right, and then for the graph, we start at 2. So we go over 0 and up 2. We put a 2 on our Y-axis. When we go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we go over 2. And that was our original rate. We could have also went up 3 and over 1. Totally fine. And then we only have to graph 2 of these before we can just draw our line. And I'm going to mess with that a bit. All right, pause there. Work on situations to everything. Work on part 3. Welcome back. It feels so silly doing that in real time, but here we are. Okay, this one. Equations turning into everything. This one's a funny one because we're going to actually have to do some computation math and plug stuff in. We've got X, we've got Y. We want to plug in 0, we want to plug in 1, 2, 3, whatever. We can keep going. To make a table from an equation, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here, and instead of writing X, we're going to plug in 0. We're going to plug in 1. We're going to plug in 2. I'm gonna move my face. We're gonna plug in 3, and we're gonna plug in 4. Right? And by plugging in these numbers for x in the equation, that's how we're gonna get this y column. Okay, so if we plug in 0, 2 times 0 plus 4 is 4, because this turns to 0, and 0 plus 4 is 4. So we get to write a 4 right here. Oh, that's not going to work out. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So we get to write a 6 right here. 2 times 4 is 4, plus 4 is 8. So we get to write an 8. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. We get to write a 10. And we do it one more time, and we get that 2 times 4 plus 4 is 12. What we also could have done is plugged in just one of these. Right? Say we had just plugged in 0. I'll move my face back. If we had just plugged in 0 here and got that it was 4, we could then use our rate of 2 over 1 to add 2 to our y and add 1 to our x. I like the plugging in version, but y'all can do what you want. So that's from equation to table. From equation to graph, this is when we say, okay, we know our rate and we know our start, because our rate is 2 and our start is 4 based on the equation, the mx plus b. Start, we're going to put a point at 4 as our start point, and then rate, whenever we have a single number instead of a fraction as a rate, we're going to put this over 1. And the reason we do this is because we've trained ourselves to think that the fraction is the amount you change in y, delta means change, and this is the amount you change in x. And when it's just the number 2, we don't really know how much you change in x. We're going to put it 2 over 1, which means we go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. And then once we've plotted a few points, we can draw our line. All right, let's get to a scenario. It's something where we start with 4 and we add 2 per one thing. So let's say, gosh, I don't know. At the beginning of the year, I had 4 sweaters. And then every month, that's not even how you spell buy 2 more sweaters. That means the x would be the number of months, and the y would be the number of sweaters I have. Great. And that's, again, I looked at this to write my equation. I looked that I started with 4 of something, and then I added 2 more of that thing every one time period, right? And the reason I got this rate in the start was straight from the equation, straight from what we were originally given. All right, guys, that's the video. That's what you got to work on. So open the assignment from everything to everything. If you haven't been working along, now is your time to work on it. Turn that in before Monday, and make sure you remember this video is really good for your portfolio, because this is what a lot of what we're writing down in our own words to submit. All right, thanks, guys. See you soon.